Thanks. Let's stay on the markets here. We've got all three majors higher, but once again, Jared Blikre feeling a little Monday, feeling a little Tuesday, feeling a little last week in the market with what's happening underneath the surface.
Yeah, and let's just get right to those heavily shorted names here because GameStop is on a roll. I believe just minutes ago it was halted once again, up 47%, almost 48%. You look at what it's done this week, though, still down 75%. And just a reminder, today is weekly options expiration, and we saw a rise in interest in biotech names. ZOM is one of those names, Zomedica Pharmaceutical, that's up 83.7% this week. So the volatility is still here. Nothing like we saw last week, but you just take a look at what's happened in some of these names. We're going to change this to a 5-day look. Sava, that may or may not be a Reddit trade here, but nevertheless, it's up 167%. Did have some short interest there. AVXL, this is another one. Enovix Life Sciences, Life Science. You can see that's well off of its high here. And then the cannabis play. Cannabis stocks are doing pretty well this week. Sundial Growers, one of those heavily shorted names, so kind of a double whammy there. That's down about 4%, but still up 36% this week. Now let's get a look at what's happening in the market today because we are looking at some gains. We have record highs for the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq and the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 really blowing it out of the park right now. And just taking a look at some of the other markets, particularly the bond market. Now we've had some volatility here. We were up about 4 or 5 basis points, and now we've sold off in terms of yields, getting back to break even as you see right now. So bond yields had been heading higher, but now reversing. And this is the highest that we've seen in the 10 years since last March. You take a look at the 13-week, that's been heading down as well. And then you have the 30-year, that's been rising. So that hit the highest since last February. You put it all together here in some pretty interesting action. Now, this is kind of signaling the all clear in the reflation trade, at least when yields are going higher and we have the yield curve expanding here. And then the US dollar market is another factor. We had been higher early on, but we sold off on that payrolls headline number miss. And I think what we're seeing here is that the markets are pricing in bad news as good news. In other words, the $1.9 trillion stimulus package that's being considered right now, looks like we're moving forward with that, got a positive vote in the, I believe it was the Senate yesterday. Yeah, 50-50 vote split with Kamala Harris providing the decision maker. All of that put together points to the reflation trade coming together. So Peloton, that is the biggest loser. Disappointment in earnings as to their outlook. We see that stock is down about 7-8% here, giving up gains for the week. But for the most part, got a lot of winners here. Activision Blizzard is another earnings story. That is up 10% today. Guys?
Yeah, Jared, interesting day underneath the surface. SAVA, that name you called out, Cassava Sciences, they made an Alzheimer drug. They had positive results earlier this week. And we talked about on the show how, and you know this, if you want to play those good old-fashioned binary, hey, maybe the stock goes up 40%, small biotech is really where all the fun has always lied in the market. And whenever GameStop
Lottery tickets
stops, yeah, the lottery tickets in there. I remember like Bluebird Bio being a big one back in the day. Whenever the GameStop story stops, people will go back to finding small biotechs based out of Cambridge, hoping for a positive phase 2 result or whatever it
plus
is.
Dogecoin.
Right, Jared,
don't forget Dogecoin.
That's right. I forgot. Doge was top trending on our site yesterday. Right now, TTOO, T2 Biosystems, up 30%. Top trender there. Positive COVID headline on that name. So there you go. Little lesson for the kids at home. All right.